Hello, you're listening to Me and Paranormal You with your host, Ryan Singer. Because it's more fun to believe. Hey everybody, thank you for listening to another experience of Me and Paranormal You with your buddy Ryan Singer. We every once in a while we get to really dive into paranormal investigation stuff, and I talk to teams and other people who do investigations, and today is one of those days. So I'm excited to be joined by a couple of the members of Get That Ghost Tennessee, Jason and Natalie. I said that right? Jason and Natalie.
Yep. Yes, sir.
What if I was like, did I say Jason correctly? Like, as if
you got
it. I got a cousin named Jason who, anyway, I don't know why. I'm not going to start talking about my cousin Jason. He's really good at leather work. Anyway, he doesn't matter. It nothing to do with the paranormal. So thanks for joining me today. I think we're going to have a fun chat.
Yes, sir. Sorry, the dogs are. We're trying to get them out of the room.
What do you got over there?
We have Chiweenies. This is Clyde. He's 10 pounds grown.
He's my 10-pound baby.
Which is not even a dog.
God, and then what a great name, Clyde.
My other one's Sissy. She's in there on her bed. She's 25 pounds. She's a Chiweenie too. So,
oh my goodness gracious.
We like our animals.
God, I love dogs.
They're amazing.
I mean, I was watching my friend's dog in Santa Monica for a couple of days the other day over at his place, him and his lady's place, and this dog's name's Darwin, and it's a golden retriever, and I have never seen a more like a better behaved, like just a better, like I've never, like usually there's something. Every dog's got quirks, right? This dog just like,
oh yeah, is
just happy to do whatever, go whenever, go wherever. It's just I'm like, I need a dog like this, but I don't have the
seriously.
I don't have the skill or the ability to to properly raise a puppy into such a great dog. But we can talk about dogs later. Unless there's a ghost dog. Did any of these stories have a ghost dog in them that we're going to be talking about today?
We have not confirmed it, but for the past 2 or 3 years now, we've got a small animal that has changed houses with us, and we think it's one of our dogs that passed away.
So really,
you catch a glimpse.
Yeah,
you just catch a glimpse. Like they, we'll be sitting in the bedroom or something, and you'll just see like a glimpse of something on the ground crawling that looks like an animal. So we're guessing,
or you'll hear ears, You'll hear a head shake, and you'll look over, and you're like, well, I see the two that we're supposed to have, and I just heard ears shaking into the room. So
it's pretty wild.
So what, do you have any idea what this animal, who was this animal?
We had a dog that was very close to us a few years ago, and she got rehomed, and we have no idea where she is or if she's still alive, but we like to think it's her checking up on us.
Oh.
She was a little older, and we had to rehome her, so we like to think it's her just checking in.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's really cool. Even if she didn't pass on yet, it makes me wonder, like, now I'm starting to think about dogs astral projecting over to like places, like, which I've never considered animals astral projecting before until just now.
Right.
Oh my God.
Or even contacting.
Yeah. I mean, that is, God, now I want to see a cartoon about an astral projecting dog.
I can make it.
Are you an animator?
Well, actually, all of the work and everything on our Facebook page, I've kind of gotten into graphic design, sort of like on my own. But I can draw. I'm actually an artist that I can pretty much draw anything.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, that's rad. That's rad. And it is funny, like when you start trying to put together your evidence and things like that, over time, I think, and I know for me through the last 20 plus years and just in stand-up comedy and everything else and making short films and things like that, it's, you just you have to teach yourself to become like the jack of all trades when it comes to editing, design and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Well, how long has Get the Ghost Tennessee been going?
We just started in November?
Yeah.
It was either the beginning of November or beginning of December. It's all ran in together. We've been so busy. But it just started in 22. And
It started as an idea.
Okay.
I told him, I said, dude, you need a hobby. You're driving me crazy. You need something to focus your energy on. Please find a hobby.
Oh my
And here we
God.
are.
Well, since I was like 10 years old, I've been interested in the paranormal and me and my friends, I mean, we just go out with, whatever we had, anything we could get. Like we had old like VCR camcorders. I mean, anything that we could get, we would go out and try to find something. And I've just done it over the years. And I've read books and books and books and studied. And of course, I've watched the TV shows, which are baloney, but I've watched a lot of those. And actually, well, they're baloney as far as the drama part, but as far as the teaching part, they do properly teach you how to use equipment if you pay attention. So, over the years, I've just studied it. And like she said, one day she was like, you need to find a hobby. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. I said, I'm going to start a paranormal team. And it just kind of fell into place. It was wild.
And it all took off.
Like we have like our medium, and like it's like people just fell into our place. Like I don't even know how we met. A couple of them. So it's pretty neat.
Are you where you live now? Have you been living there for a while, like in this general area? Like,
this is where I grew up. It's a little town, which it's growing like everything else here. But I grew up here. It's actually called Greenbrier, Tennessee. It's a one-light town.
Oh, okay.
We have one
on a good day.
Two on a good
and
day.
we just got a McDonald's, and that's like a big deal.
Oh, that's a big deal.
We're mainly farmers. There's a lot of farmers out this way.
Oh, okay.
A lot of cotton, a lot of tobacco.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it reminds me of a place called Mason City, Illinois, where there's a really tiny little comedy club. A buddy of mine owns there, and we do investigations because the place is haunted. It's like a one-stop sign town, but it's about 20 minutes to get to a McDonald's over there, 25 minutes. But wow, okay, so yeah, now you got the McCafe and the breakfast sandwiches. Oh man,
it's bad idea. It's like a football field from our house. Which is really? A bad idea. I've been on a diet for a while, so it's a bad idea.
Oh man, I'm on day 11 of doing. Have you ever heard of the thing called the Master Cleanse? It's like a juice cleanse.
I have.
It's like a fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I'm hanging out with a couple friends of mine like 2 weeks ago before the Super Bowl, and they have both done it multiple times. And like, oh, I had more energy when I did it. Or, I lost like 15 to 20 pounds in like a week and a half when I did it. And I was just like, you know what? I've been like, since the pandemic hit, I've been just like a lazy piece of shit. Right. So I'm like, I need to kickstart and stop drinking Diet Coke, because I drink Diet Coke like all day long. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like 46 years old. I can't drink fucking Diet Coke all day long. So I'm like, I'll do this. And I'm so addicted to caffeine, and you can't have caffeine. I'm on day 11 right now. And so we're talking about McDonald's breakfast sandwiches, and I am salivating over here.
We shouldn't even mention McDonald's. I apologize.
Oh my God.
We also have a great little nutritional shop that has nutritional shakes down the street. So, if you're in the area,
get a little bit of everything.
Grab one of those.
I'm a milkshake guy. I mean, milkshakes are my number one thing of all time. And the Shamrock Shake is at McDonald's right now. I can't have solid foods again until Sunday. Today is what, Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have to do like orange. I'm only allowed to do orange juice today. And then tomorrow I'm allowed to do vegetable broth. And then Saturday I'm allowed to do fruits and vegetables. And then Sunday I can eat. Then Sunday, although I'm on a liquid, it's still kind of liquid only. A Shamrock Shake technically is liquid, and there's no dairy. And okay. I am so sorry. I am so far off track right now. Okay, so you grew up in this cool spot in Tennessee. You've lived there your whole life, I'm guessing, for the most part. And so you've got these friends that you have been investigating with. Now, Natalie, you're like, get a hobby, Jason. You're driving me crazy. And I've been in that spot before where I've been told pretty much the exact same thing. And then a hobby becomes, well, you know what? I've always loved doing this other thing. Maybe I'll start doing more of it.
Yep.
I'm curious.
Yep. So
what were you going to say there?
Oh, he got into the investigating side, and then I got into the herbal white witch side, and it just works. And so now Now I'm part of the hobby.
We have a person of every level, like case manager, medium, researcher. She's researcher, and she loves dowsing rods. So
that's dowsing rods are my favorite.
But yeah, it's crazy how like my medium lives in Chattanooga, Pigeon Forge, which is up in the Smoky Mountains. And then 2 other members of my team live in Chattanooga, which is about 2 hours away from us. But we all collab together when we need to. Like it wasn't long ago we did a call. I'm not even going to talk about it. We did a call in Alabama. So we had a home thing that we did there, and it was, yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
Not at all.
Yeah, well, that's.
But we do it for free.
I feel like I've been through. I feel like I've been through where you are. I mean, because I've spent so much time and traveling between Atlanta and Chattanooga over the last 15 years, and like I don't know where you are in relation to Knoxville. Are you closer to Knoxville or Chattanooga?
Chattanooga, but Knoxville's only probably 45 minutes further than Chattanooga. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
My brother lives in Knoxville. He actually lives in Knoxville. My brother and my sister was there.
Yeah, I mean, I love Knoxville. There's something about Knoxville, Tennessee that I really love, and it's it's warmer. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, so north of where you're at, and so I love getting warmer and warmer and warmer. That's why I live in Southern California now, because it's warm. Although it's 48 degrees today, and I'm like wondering what have I done with my life.
It was 78 here. It was 78.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, what am I doing here?
But it's gonna get down to like 46 tonight.
It snows at night. It'll be 70 in the daytime, then all of a sudden it'll be snow at night.
Yeah. And our winter's not done yet. Like we're in one of our early summers or springs.
Yeah.
Winters we get snow up through April, May. We'll see flurries.
You're very cold.
Are you close to the 37th parallel? Do you know, like
Probably.
The paranormal superhighways, they call it, the 37th parallel that spans across the United States. It kind of goes through Knoxville. Basically, it's Interstate 40.
Yeah, we also have the Trail of Tears in Adams. That's up close to the Bell Witch as well. So, there's a lot of history. There's a place called Port Royal. I mean, it ran directly through there to Springfield.
Oh,
so,
wow.
There's a ton of history. Like the Springfield Courthouse Square, like in Springfield, Tennessee, has been there since 1796. So I'm using that to my advantage for sure for the tours and things.
No, okay. So, that's really, yeah, you're right. I mean, it sounds like there's just a ton of opportunity around there. And I'm curious about, and we don't have to talk about the detail of it, but you mentioned briefly a trip to Alabama. I'm curious. So, just in general, was this like an idea of someone was reaching out because they needed help at their house?
Yes.
And how do people, how did they find you? How did they know to reach out to you?
It's actually our Facebook page. We've had people contact us from all over. I don't know where they get it from, but they contact us through Facebook. Just message me, or my number's on there. They contact us that way as well. I mean, it's random. Like, we actually did a podcast with the guy's brother. He was on what was that, Sasquatch Odyssey or something? He had a Sasquatch podcast, but he decided to do like a paranormal side. So he invited us on the show, and it was his brother that needed help. Well,
oh wow,
we got down there and got into something that
we were not
never
expecting.
Experienced before, and it put a damper on the team. It about took us out. That's all I pretty much say. It was something we were not expecting. I was thinking
took everything our team had to handle the situation.
Hey, Matt, Uncle Tom is a spirit, but
it was much worse.
We got into something bad. Yeah. Made it out, helped the family, but got into something bad.
Well, I'm glad to hear you got out of there. I have experience in kind of in that same realm, and it's to a certain degree, and those are situations that I've got a therapist that I see who's a PTSD therapist that I've been seeing for 3 years now, pretty much because of an experience I had on an investigation. So
oh, man.
it's definitely not something that is what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I mean, it's definitely not fun and games. I mean, but
Oh no,
yeah,
that part's not.
yeah, there's a dark side to it, and there's, a scarier side and a dangerous side for, I mean, because we say this a lot on the show, but it's like, if you really believe that ghosts are real and they can move physical objects and these other energies, or demons, any of this stuff, these entities, like, if they can do stuff, if you believe they can do stuff, like, what's the difference between knocking a glass off of a table and like squeezing your throat? There's, it's like,
Pushing a person.
exactly. And you hear
Yeah.
about that, and you see people who have gotten scratches that have just appeared on their body. So it is. I don't mess with that. I don't mess with the. At least I do my damnedest to not mess with the darker side of this.
That's the one thing that I'll tell you. We stayed down there, and I didn't get near anything. I stayed in the yard mainly. They went in and did some things, but I stayed in the yard mainly. Well, when we got back to the hotel,
he was wearing jungle boots and
like Air
blue
Force
jeans.
And blue jeans.
So let me set the stage here.
So there was nothing that touched my leg. Well,
we weren't in any tall grass. We weren't anywhere.
Anyway, so we got back to the room while I was changing, and as I took my jeans off, there was a cut, and there was blood just running down the cut. Well, till this day, this was months ago. What, 3 months ago or something?
It's still not healed.
To this day, it's still not healed, and it itches, and it's been there. Like, since that day, it's been there. So, but I've asked my psychic, Melinda, I've asked her, what to do. And she was like, it's not anything of attachment or anything like that. You just got to scratch. Something scratched us and punched me in the back. I mean, it took me to my knees. Anyway, I get emotional.
There was a lot going on. And one of our team members and I were closing a portal. And when we closed that portal,
it attacked us.
Whatever was in the house with us, we punted it outside. And Jason and another team member of ours took a hit from it.
And I mean, we heard it. Like, we could hear it growl in our ears. Like, we literally, we were out there praying and blessing the land. She's got some kind of black salt and something she uses, but we're blessing the land and standing I guess it happened right as soon as they closed that portal. We didn't know. Well, something hit us. Like, it came after us, and I heard a hissing in this ear, and then Alice didn't hear it, which is my other team member. And then in the middle of us, there was a growl, and I mean, she freaked. We dropped it and just started, in the name of God. I mean, and we just prayed it all the way to the edge of the property, covered that edge, and then we got it to the last. It's 2 driveways. We got it to the last driveway to clear off the property, and once we cleared off that side, you could hear it growl in the road and run down the road. And then they saw
when I came out, it was in the field across the road from us, stalking and watching. And so we kept telling it, you've been told to go on, you've been bound, you've been, told you're no longer welcome here, you are not allowed here, you need to just go on. And eventually it finally did go.
It was either a malevolent spirit or a demon. There's no other way that I could explain it. I've never experienced anything like it in all my years.
The closest we've gotten is hellhound or something along those lines, some type of demonic dog figure.
Something. But it was crazy. But we helped the family. We shut it down. We helped the family. Everything was fine after
family
that.
had their first good night's sleep in
that's what
5
we're
years?
here for. That's what we're doing it for.
Imagine having that damn thing in your house. No, thank you.
I couldn't imagine. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't imagine.
What,
you didn't smell sulfur or anything at the time?
There was no sulfur. There was no.
Don't say anything about
there was no indication that that's what should have been there. Now, there had been Ouija board activity in the house next door, and there's no telling what had come through those portals that were created with the misuse of that board.
Their daughter played with the people next door with rocks and Ouija boards and things. And when you use a Ouija board, you have to open and close it. Well, people don't understand that. They think it's a toy. So, when they open it and start letting things in, if they don't close it, it just keeps coming. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of that. And I think that's what happened, because it was so close. I mean, they were less than 50 yards from the other house. So I think it all transferred to that house, and we walked right into it.
We did.
So
yeah, there was no indications before we got there. There was no indications that was what we were going to be walking into.
I thought it was Uncle Tom.
we genuinely thought it was going to end up being a family member or an elemental that was just trying to be seen. That was what we expected, and that was not what we found.
Our next home investigation was a party.
Yeah, the next one was a cakewalk. It really was Uncle Tom.
Ike.
Yeah, it was Uncle Ike.
Uncle Ike.
Wow, I mean that's wild. I mean, I am glad to hear that, that it ended in a good way, because I mean those are the things that I guess you, even when you're not expecting them to happen and you're not planning on these kinds of things to be happening, in somewhere in our minds, I suppose always have to be prepared for even if it's unlikely, the unlikelihood that this occurs. And I mean, this is, I think, one of the main reasons why I know a lot of people say you should never investigate alone. And I think I've only done it a handful of times, but there was never any indication of anything like this happening. And if it ever would have started going into a situation like that, it's, shut her down, all systems self-destruct the whole spaceship kind of thing. But I'm curious, when it comes to like the amount of times you've gone and actually like show, or people have reached out. I mean, I've never done anything like that. I've never
well, that's the issue. The issue with the paranormal field right now is nobody helps. Nobody goes to homes and helps people. Like, I had somebody today contact me from West Virginia. West Virginia. I'm in Tennessee. Why would they be contacting me? Well, I went to find other teams in West Virginia. I found 3 teams. I asked them, okay, can you guys help? One team did it. The other 2 said that they've never done it and they're not going to do it. See, they're in it for the fame. They're in it for the fame and the flashy. Like, we're in it to document, to teach, to learn, to teach people the real way, not the as seen on TV way. Everybody thinks that it's just a big party. And they want the drama and they want the money, but we're in it for the right reasons. I'm in it to help somebody. And I do these fun investigations because it helps me. Like, if I go to the fun things, it helps me use the equipment and it learns new methods. So when I go to these homes, I'm ready. I don't walk in looking like a fool. I walk in, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I've done it. So when I walk in, I know exactly what I'm doing when I walk in that place. So you're moving.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
So that's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. And then I mean, not everybody's equipped for that. And and some people I know, we all have our own personal beliefs and things like that as well. And as far as I go, I don't believe in crossing ghosts over and things like that. And I'm not going anywhere and I'm not clearing anything out of anybody's space. And for a couple of reasons. The main reason, I don't feel like I'm trained or equipped to do such a thing. I mean, I probably could do it potentially, but it's I don't think it's my place to do that. Now, it's totally different when someone reaches out to you. I mean, I've been doing this podcast for over 9 years, and I used to have a Google phone number where people could call and like leave voicemail messages and stuff like that. And there was only a couple times where I ever was asked for help on something, and most of them were like teenagers at a sleepover, like crank calling me or something, right? From what I could tell from the messages, just a lot of laughing, like, we have a ghost, we need help. And I'm like, I don't know how they found the number or anything else.
Right.
But it's wild though to think about all the people that get into this for money, because there's no money here. Like, me and my friends, we sit around and laugh all the time. Like, people who think there's money in Bigfoot, people who think there's money in ghosts, and there's not. Discovery, if you have a TV show on Discovery, you got to go 10 seasons before you make the amount of money that you make one season on as an actor on Friends. So I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I know with the advent of TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, it's so much easier now to get your content out there, and I do like that for people. There's fewer gatekeepers, so to speak. But at the end of the day, you just don't really, I guess there's not like a a paranormal directory of I need an exorcism.
Well, there is. There's a Facebook paranormal directory.
Oh, there is.
Huh? We've been put on it. What is that? I have to look it up, but there is one. We actually, I had a lady message me and ask if they could put us on the directory. Like that's where they've been getting the number, I bet. Yeah,
we figured it out.
I know. I forgot. Well, that and I think our mission statement, like, because we said that we travel and we help anyone in need. Like, we drove 3 hours to Alabama
at our expense, and got our hotel room at our expense. Right. Like, we're not asking you to shell anything. We're coming to help because that's what we feel led to do.
And I think that's what grabs people toward us, is because they know that we're in it for that. We're in it to help people. We're not in it for I don't want to be Zach Bagans, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be dramatic. I want them to know that I'm the real deal, that I'm here to really help. Sorry, I know I keep saying that, but that's us.
No, it's okay.
We want to document.
We are.
We want to document and we want to educate. Those people that want to learn how to close the portal and how to drive away something negative. If you want to learn that, we want to teach you. If you don't feel like that's your gig, that's cool. My gig's not what he does. I do my own. I'm good at certain things in ghost hunting. He's good at other things. I'm not good at the whole investigative setting at camera thing. Not my gig. But if you need to be cleansed, hey, I got a sage and a match. I got you.
Yeah.
So
it's just wild.
Everybody's got strengths, and play into what you're good at, what you enjoy doing. That's where you'll really excel.
Yeah, it's the whole members of a team component. Let's take a quick break here. I'm going to slide in some commercials here to keep the lights on, and just as a reminder, people can listen to commercial-free episodes at patreon.com/Ryan Singer. So if you don't want to hear the ads, go to patreon.com/Ryan Singer, and $3 a month, I think is, I think I'm the one who runs the page. I should know it. So I know it's at $3 a month. You can get ad free. And we're back. So I'm here chatting with Jason and Natalie of Get That Ghost Tennessee. We're talking about paranormal investigations. We're talking about, hitting the road to help people who have reached out in need of something in their house that they can't get rid of. Now, this is a really fascinating side of the paranormal, because basically this is, I don't know, to some people that they might consider it the more dangerous, the sexier side of the paranormal when it comes to doing these kinds of things, cleansings. And there's a friend of mine who's a demonologist who, he's got all kinds of information in books and things like that he can't tell you about. It's kind of under lock and key. And when I know something like that is the case, it only makes me more interested, whether it's these esoteric ancient mystery schools like Freemasonry or the Rosicrucians, or demonologists have secret information about how to deal with spirits or alchemy. I'm just like, okay, I need to find this information now. I didn't know I needed to until you told me that I wasn't allowed to have it. But I'm curious if there is an anchor that keeps the team. Like, I mean, you said you have a mission statement on your page, right? What is the basic mission statement?
I mean, that's what, like we were saying, document, educate, learn. We just say that we're real. Like I'm making.
You're not as seen on TV.
That's my thing to say. I say I'm not as seen on TV. I mean, I'm just making the statement that we are real. We are here to help you, and we are here to train you. If you want to train, if you want to learn, if you want to know the ins and outs. I've actually had people contact me and ask me how to get their team started. I've had people contact me and ask me how to do an appropriate thing. Like, there's certain methods that people don't know how to use, and they ask me, and I've done it for so long, I know the method. Like, I've never been through any.
And we don't know nearly all of it.
No,
but we have friends that we learn from, and they've been in it a little longer than we have, and so we learn from them. And
we all teach each other. Prayer unity is. We're trying to get it coming here, but it's not really a thing. We're trying to get it going here on this end. So, but my mission statement is, we want to document, teach, train, learn together. And I mean, help people that are really in need or not as seen on TV.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think I mean, you got to launch from the right place for anything to be long-term successful. Because, I mean, if someone is launching a paranormal team only because they think, well, maybe if we do it right, we can get a TV deal, that's not going to last very long. And as soon as there's no traction at all on that side of things, things will fall apart. And it's like, well, what are we doing here? What are we spending our time on? What are we, we're only alive for so long. So what are we going to spend our time doing? Things that we don't love? That seems like such a waste of time to me, in
It is.
the utmost sense. Now, I'm curious how this all started. Like, where's the spark come from? I mean, there has to either it's just an interest, a fascination, or because of curiosity, or there's an experience that you two have had.
What got me started, there is a, which I mean, I've done it back then, but really, I started reading books. There's an author named Catherine Renslin, and her book is called Ghost, which she has a bunch of different books, but that's the first book I got from the New Age section. And
my favorite section, baby. I love that New Age section.
That's straight where I go. That's straight where I go. But I mean, I started reading her book, and she wrote it in like when I write, like I have a journal. When I write in my words. So like she wrote it in her words, like it's something that I could relate to and understand. Like you get in some books and you read and you're like, what the hell just happened? What the hell is going on? But like the way she wrote it is like I'm standing there talking to her. Like I could feel what she feels and I could see what she saw. She even had pictures. Like there was stuff that I didn't even know about. Like I learned different ways from her because she's a paranormal investigator. Like it just I started reading her books and then. Which the shows, of course, the Ghost Hunters, you watch those, which I still believe, like the Ghost Hunters are the only ones that I really truly believe are still in it to help or in it to really learn. Like there's a lot of them just like, oh my gosh, but that's what really got me into it. I mean, and I have a passion for helping people. That's the way I've been since I was born. Like I would literally, if you came up to me, like if I didn't know you and you came up to me and you're like, dude, I need $5, I'd hand you $5. Like, I'm just that type of person.
He literally, the other day at the gas station, the guy's card declined for $9.
Oh, 10. No, 12.
12. Then it declined for 10. And then he was walking out the door, and I was in the car, and our son comes out and goes, hey, you got $5. And I was like, what are they talking about?
I paid the 12.
Anyway, so he came out, and the
guy needed gas.
He paid for it.
His card
never met the guy.
He needed gas. And I'm like, no, dude. I told the old man at the register, we were just in there getting candy before my daughter's game and a drink. So I told the dude at the register, I'm like, ring up the $12. And I told my son, I said, run out there and tell him to wait. So he got him and he got his gas and went about his way. So
that's cool.
I mean, that's normal. Which now, granted, that may just be because we're Southern and that's just how we do. But that's just
what kind of candy was it? What kind of candy was it? I'm over here wishing.
What is
it's Reese's Cups or Reese's Pieces.
Oh no!
My son's all about Snickers.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she gets
anything sour. Anything sour.
Combos. She got combos.
That's right.
The pizza combos.
Oh, the pizza flavored combos.
Amazing. Yes, those are amazing.
I'm like jumping a softball. Oh my God, that's that sounds like fun.
Oh man, I keep forgetting. I gotta quit.
I mean, all you gotta,
shut up.
If you put
Carrots
those
and celery.
if you put those combos in a blender with a few vitamins and herbs, you could make it a healthy snack, and it would be liquid.
Wait, what?
Do you ever watch The Office?
You are blowing my mind right now with this. Put the combos in like a blender, like a NutriBullet, even with what kind of herbs?
I mean, I would probably throw in
eating the combo. Just drinking it instead of eating it.
I mean, I would throw in like cumin, some turmeric, maybe a little paprika.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen The Office?
We could throw some things in there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
In an episode, they're on a diet. Well, Kevin, one of the guys, he's like one of the slow guys. They're on a diet and they're trying to stay on the liquid diet. He takes a ham and puts it in a blender and drinks it. So it's like it's liquid.
So, my God! Yeah, it's. Sorry, I got us sidetracked again thinking about candy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We can
We are all about improvise, adapt, overcome.
Okay.
So
I like that.
You got
motto.
a problem, we got a solution.
I like that. So it is like, cause I'm similar in that way, Jason, where I didn't see a ghost when I was a kid. To my knowledge, I didn't grow up in a house that was haunted. I was always very deeply fascinated with the mystical and the supernatural. And then, as I get older, and now I'm a grown up, quote unquote grown up, I guess, and I have, a pretty profound experience. I'm curious what maybe the first profound experience was that you had.
Individually or together?
I got the one individual. You already know.
Well, we could do the individual for each of you, and then the together one.
Okay. You want to go first?
No, you go first.
So there's a mausoleum. There's a place called Woodlawn Cemetery in Nashville, and they have a 4-story mausoleum that is shaped like a cross. Well, I sweet talked us into getting in there to investigate. Nobody's ever done it. Well, the second floor is where they told us we could go. Well, I had 2 experiences there. I had a bunch of experiences, but the main ones, it was me and one of my teammates. And you know how it's laid out like a cross? It's straight, and then it's got these ways. So it looks like a cross anyway.
3 short sides and a long.
Yeah. So we were walking up, and they had 3 sections that you can walk the other way across. So I'm just standing there, and I look, and, well, there's a dark, dark section. Well, I'm going for the dark, dark section. So I start walking towards the dark section. My teammate's right behind me. Well, I stop, and I always get the recorder out, and I tell them who I am. Hey, I'm Jason. I'm just here to hear your story. I'm here to speak with you. As I was doing that, I caught something out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, crap. So I jumped in the dark side, and I told her, I was like, we're going to get caught. Step back. So she's in the light. She looks down there. She said, there's nobody there. I was like, bull crap. There was a dude right there looking at that, standing there in a hat. And she was like, he's going, Jason. There's nobody there. And I was like, okay. So we went down. Well, there's only one way in there. You can only get in through the front, but through the receptionist. Well, the receptionist was the one that let us in. So I went to the front reception, and I was like, who was the guy in the hat? And she said, what do you mean? I said, who'd you let in with the hat on? She said, I didn't let anybody with a hat. And I was like, okay. She said, what kind of hat was it? I said, it was a fedora. And she goes, oh, no. That's our resident spirit. I swear to you, I'll put it on the Bible. It was like looking at you. I was looking at you standing there, and it was an apparition. That was the first experience there. What got me, and this is my biggest experience in my life, which you can see it on TikTok or on our Facebook. Well, I'm sitting, it's called the Estes. Have you ever heard of the Estes method?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we were using the Estes method. Well, I'm sitting there, and I can't hear anything or see anything. She's asking the questions. Well, answered a few. Well, at the end, I'm sitting there, and I heard a man, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. And I was like, okay. And then I told her, hey, I hear a man. And then not even 10 seconds later, it grabbed me. I'm not talking a little, I'm talking it grabbed me. Like I took a picture and had handprint, like as soon as I stood up. I've never had that happen in all these years. It scared the crap out of me, but it was exciting at the same time. But if you look at the video, it looks like I'm terrified because I throw the headset. I'm like, holy shit. I'm
well, you're startled, out, of course.
I mean, you're pitch black. You know what it is? You're pitch black with a blindfold, and you can't hear anything but the So I'm not expecting anybody to grab me. But that's my biggest, which, I mean, we have a lot, but that's really
So that same day, I was not in there when that happened. I was outside with our son. Our son is sensitive. And there was a lot of commotion with the spirits being investigated for the first time. It was very overwhelming. So he said, hey, I need some fresh air. And I said, okay, well, I'll go outside with you. So he and I were walking around. So I was not in the room when Jason got touched.
She didn't know that I got grabbed.
Had no idea. So we met back up with the team. And one of the girls leaned over and said, hey, Jason got touched. But that's all she said to me. I had no idea where, how hard, nothing. So we got outside, and I was cleansing everybody before we left. And Jason goes, hey, get your dowsing rods and check me right quick. I said, okay. So I check him, and my rods go off. And so I stage him again and check him again, and they go off again. And I stage him again, and they go off again. And I stage him again, and finally they stop.
4 times.
And I looked at him, and I said, what gives? And he goes, that's where I got touched.
She didn't know.
I had no idea. Had no idea.
He was trying to go, whatever grabbed him was trying to go with me.
Wow.
But I had no clue.
Anyway, I'm going to keep him forever.
I love dowsing rods. Dowsing rods are some of my favorite as well.
They're awesome.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's like I love having a little bit of the old with the new. Some of the traditional with the ultra modern kind of. I mean, because there's so many cool gadgets, and I mean, there's even apps and things like now you can use on your phone while you're out on an investigation. But it's nice just to get your hands dirty, so to speak, holding the dowsing rods. I even like to use dice and just see what will happen with the dice. But that's really cool. That's really cool. So let's pause real quick just in case there's another commercial that goes here. And just as a reminder, it's patreon.com/Ryan Singer if you don't want commercials in your paranormal stories and interviews. $3 a month. And maybe I'll make them $1 a month every once in a while. Who knows? You never know. There's Easter eggs over there. So patreon.com/Ryan Singer. And we are back. So I'm talking with Jason and Natalie about their experiences that they've had with the supernatural, the mystical, the paranormal. Some would say the unexplainable, even though we think we've got explanations for them to some degree. Anyway, it's not a complete mystery, probably. We know we're not dead when our bodies die, I think is
right
at the end of the day, as simply as maybe we can put it. We continue somehow, some way. And I'm curious about how many people are on your team?
I'm sorry. I have 7.
Oh, this is 7.
But it's split up. We only have 4. Yeah, we have 4 here, and then my medium's in Gatlinburg, and then the other 2 are in Chattanooga. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Hey, it's Greenberg Mass.
Now, can your medium do it via telephone? You ever put them on speaker?
She's actually she knows a lot of folks.
Okay, cool. That's really cool. We did an investigation once, and my friend Karen Rontowski had her dog Courage, who had a connection with a pet psychic, and the pet psychic was on speakerphone as we walked around with Courage, as Karen held her dog Courage, and she was basically telling us exactly where we were, even though she had no idea, because Courage was telling her everything he saw. And so, I'm definitely on board with, the remote viewing, so to speak, when it comes, I don't want people to think I'm confusing it with the, the remote viewing that maybe people are familiar with. But it is pretty cool to be able to use these devices and technology that we have nowadays to stay connected and even use on investigations, right?
But you know what the best piece of equipment is? Us.
I agree with you 100%.
We're the best, because we've used we use so many different methods. We don't use the equipment probably 80% of the time. Our methods are us. Like the energy in us is what, that's what makes it the best. So I know that's crazy, but that's what we use mainly is ourselves as equipment.
Yeah, I think our bodies and our perceptions and everything else, all the senses that we have, I think far and away are the best tool we have to, just walking into a room and being like, oh shit, I can use the temperature gauge on this millimeter to show you that it's colder in here, or it's cold in this doorway, or I can just tell you like, hey, it's freezing right here, get in here.
Exactly. That's what we do. I'm like, come here and feel this. Come here and feel this. It's exactly how we do it. I don't need all that equipment for that. It's cold. Come here.
So our first experience together.
Do we have time for an experience together?
Yes, we do.
Well, we talked about major experiences.
Just making sure.
Our first experience together, we were co-managers at a senior retirement community. And we had a routine every night that we closed.
This is before we started.
Yeah, this was way before the
I wanted to tell you
this was years ago.
2013.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So we had a nightly routine. We would go, and one of the perks that our community had was we did dining room style meals for everyone that lived there. And so after the dining room would close, we'd go down to make sure that everything was locked up appropriately, and the dining room closed, doors were closed, and the dining room was being cleaned up, and manager things. Well, that particular night, we had a dinner party in our private dining room, And so I had gone down ahead of Jason, and I said, hey, I'm going to go down. I'm going to start cleaning up, setting up. I'll see you down there. So I go down. I step off in the private dining room, close the door behind me. I'm in there doing my own little thing. Have no idea he followed me downstairs. I'm in there. No, in a second. So I'm in there. I finish what I need to do. I come out of the private dining room, and I walk in the back doors of the main dining room. And Jason's coming out of the kitchen, and he turns white. I mean, just white as a sheet. And I look at him, I'm like, you're okay? And he's like, no. He's like, where have you been? And I was like, in the private dining room. And he goes, and so then he tells me this.
So I walked by there. I didn't know she was in the private dining room. Well, when you go in the dining room, the very back of there's doors that take you into the kitchen. You just come into the kitchen, check everything, walk out, lock the door. Well, when I went in, I said, hey, babe. And she said, hey. And I was like, cool. I said, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to start cleaning this up, and I'm going to lock up the door. I didn't hear anything. So I was like, okay. So I went to the door, and I was coming out the door, and I was like, hey, babe, I'm going to leave the door unlocked. Just come out when you want to. And I'm like, okay. So I just left it. Well, I turned around, and she's walking in the front of the dining room.
Wow.
Something answered me in there that was not her. And it was very audible, and like I'm talking to you.
And it was
so yeah, that was
close enough to her, to Natalie's voice too.
Yes, It was mocking. It was trying to mock Natalie. It sounded like her, but she said okay, and I was like, okay, I'll just leave the door open.
And you know what's funny? There was a spot in that basement area that I hated going by myself.
She was in the basement.
I just hated it. So there's no telling what was there, what I could have picked up.
Passed away. I bet while we were working there, because we lived on site. There were 55 and over, and there were 194 of them. So, you know, I found
we probably lost 15 to 20 residents during our time there.
So, you know, you've got all that. Like, I love to go investigate there.
Yeah, we would love to go back and investigate now.
But yeah, so that was an experience.
Yeah, there's something about an audible response like that, you know, especially post
in your ear,
realizing what it actually was and who it actually wasn't. Is pretty profound.
Way off guard.
Yeah,
and he doesn't scare easily. He doesn't.
I don't scare very easily.
And he was white.
I mean, it is. I don't know. You know the old. You know the taller the tree, the harder the fall kind of thing.
What it is, man.
It really is. I'm just walking around like constantly micro scared every time anything happens anywhere.
Right.
I mean, I'm not like that. I'm not like walking. I'm not like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Like, you know, I'm not scared. But and I will go into dark places. But it is. I mean, probably the scariest thing that's happened to me in recent memory is just a bat flying right by my face a couple different times that I could not see, and that's just it's just so startling more than it is scary. Right, it's not like as much as it's
right.
You know?
Right.
But
like when I got grabbed, same thing.
Yeah, and it's you know, especially doing the Estes method because you can't see or hear anything, and so to be touched, you know, to be grabbed in such a way has got to be it's just so startling.
It's terrifying in a good way.
Yeah. I wonder how often you guys are going out as a team.
Oh wow!
We try to go out at least once every 2 weeks with everybody. We go out at least once a week.
Oh wow!
But we try to get everybody together at least once every 2 weeks.
We got something huge tomorrow. I can't wait. We're going to Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Wait, where are you going?
Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Now, and that's going to be tomorrow. Yeah, because this will come out in a couple of weeks, so you'll have already been there when.
We'll have already been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we come back on and talk about that.
That would be cool. You got to let me know. Yeah. Let me know what happens, and we'll set up a thing.
Absolutely.
We'll set up a time to try to make that happen. And that's the whole team.
Yeah, we're all going. Yep. Yeah, actually, this is what's crazy. Somebody contact me, never met, in Wisconsin. No, where's Iowa? She contacted me randomly. Her sister lives here about 15 miles from us. She contacted me in Messenger, And she said, I want you to set up a surprise birthday party for my sister. I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like Ghostbuster style, you know? I'm going to come up like anyway. But so I told her, I was like, okay. I said, what do you want to do? She said, I want you to pick a place, set it up, and I'll pay half of it. So of course I'm like, whoa, now a place I want to go. So, you know, I set that up, and we're leaving tomorrow. We're going to pick her and her sister up, and we're heading that way. Friday the 23rd. When this comes out, it's Friday the 23rd.
24th.
I'm 24th. I'm tired.
Wow.
That's my other job. My other job is to make sure he's where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you need a life manager.
Yes.
Everything under control. That's that's really cool. I'll be interested to hear how that goes. So you'll have to keep me posted, and we'll have to jump back on in the future and do some more chatting. But this has been a fun time. This has been great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's leave everybody with like just a final thought, I guess, as we wrap this one up. At the end of the day, all the investigating that we could do, all the evidence that we could collect, doesn't really matter. And more importantly, how does it shape or change the original beliefs that you had before getting deep into investigation, if at all?
Oh, can I answer this one?
Yes.
Go for it.
So I grew up independent Baptist.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in a box under the rock, pushed way back. Demons were off limits. We didn't talk about bad spirits. I mean, I grew up in a cult under the Baptist name.
Keep going.
In the Bible Belt, in the buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yes.
So witches are not allowed. Harry Potter was forbidden. I mean, you name it, it was not allowed. So I went on my own exploration journey, whatever you want to call it, to find a way to merge these beliefs that I grew up with what I actually see and have evidence for. And how can I make this work? So I was able to reason my way through some of the passages that frequently get quoted out of the Bible. And then I found a book that really helped me. And it was about how, as healers and as guardians and as protectors, we can call on the archangels to help give us wisdom and strength in dealing with the dark side. And it makes sense in my head that if we are dealing with the dark side, there has to be a light side somewhere that we could fall back on that has the strength we need, or that we need to borrow to be able to deal with the dark side. So my belief, at the end of the day, does it really matter what we documented? Does it really matter what we found? Yeah, it does. Because people know I'm not crazy. There really was something in my house, and now it's not bothering me. Or there is something here, and it's a loved one watching over me. It really does matter at that point. And it's not just we're doing it for kicks and giggles. We do it because it matters.
If it doesn't matter to anybody else, it matters to the people that we help, and it matters to us.
Absolutely.
So that's what my closing statement is. I'm not for the TV. I'm not for the drama. I'm here to help people. And if I document things and nobody else cares, those people that I help do, and we do. So
yeah, I mean, it's well said. I think at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is like the here and the now, and what are we doing? How are we spending our time? And you know, and where's the meaning that we can derive from this? And
right.
You know, there's kids who don't even know who Paul McCartney is. Like, there's teenagers who have no idea who Paul McCartney is. Now, if you're one of the Beatles and you can't be remembered while you're still alive or known as one of the most famous or whatever, so like all that stuff is garbage, right? So, I mean, that's all you have to do is realize that like people don't know who Paul McCartney is. He's not even dead yet. How famous do you think you can get? And so what really matters is what effect are we having on the world around us and our own lives specifically too, because we want to be living nice lives and enjoyable lives, and where do we derive meaning from, I guess. And you know, my beliefs have changed a little bit since from way back when. You know, I was raised Catholic. I'm not Catholic at all anymore. You know, I wouldn't even consider myself to be Christian, but I have done meditations for Archangel Michael, like you're saying. Like there's, you know, even if it's calling on a certain type of energy to bring in for protection at times or things like that.
Elementals are there too.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, I think it's all gravy, and you just have to make sure you're drinking from the right boat. Right.
Yep.
And I dig it. I dig where you guys are coming from. I like what's going on over here. We gotta do this again. We gotta touch base again. And I'm always on tour in the Southeast and the Midwest, like usually during the summer. So maybe sometime this. Oh my God. Well, I'll reach out to you privately about that.
You come up to Nashville, I'll show you around.
We'll take you on a ghost
We'll
hunt.
take you on a ghost hunt.
We'll take you on a good ghost hunt.
Oh, okay. I mean,
We'll
Nashville's
take
like
you
one
to
of my
meet
homes
Uncle
away
Ike.
from home. I love Nashville. I perform
We'll show
there
you around.
almost more than anywhere else outside of my hometown. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll be in touch. Let's let everybody know where they can find you on the internet real quick.
Where can they find us on the
Oh, yeah. It's just Get That Ghost TN. That's the Facebook page. It doesn't have the dash. It's just Get That Ghost TN. And then our TikTok is
Get That Ghost TN1.
Get That Ghost TN1.
So, side note, the dog you met at first, Clyde.
Oh yeah.
Our thing with him is if we say,
No. He'll run.
get that BOG, he'll start barking and going off.
You want me to show you?
So we started saying get that ghost, and
Okay.
and he came to get the ghost.
That's really
So,
funny.
yeah, so it's Get That Ghost, Tennessee.
He's a ghost and retriever.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this has been a ton of fun. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. And everybody listening, I hope you enjoyed it. I know you probably did. And, you know, give them a follow, smash that follow button, like, subscribe, share the podcast. By the way, my friend Sarah, who's helping me book the show nowadays, is always reminding me like, oh, you haven't, you know, maybe rate and review the podcast. That would be great. Share it with a friend. So thanks for listening. I hope to see you on the road sometime, to all the listeners out there at a comedy show or something like that. If not, I'll just see you at the watering hole on the astral plane.